Hybrid training. It's a term that's grown in popularity and is catching some attention in the fitness crowd. So how do we define hybrid training? I can tell you what it's not. It's not doing bodybuilding or strength training while including some conditioning for health or body comp goals. It's also not training like an endurance athlete while doing some specific strengthening in order to increase running performance. It's something else. It's something different. It's pursuing both weightlifting and endurance sports, each as their own ends. It's getting the best of both worlds and trying to have it all. In my humble opinion, being a hybrid athlete may be the purest form of fitness right now. Now, I've already tried some of the popular hybrid training programs out there, and you can watch my reviews on one of them right here. As someone that's worked as a fitness professional for over 15 years, as a trainer, a gym owner, a manager, a director, I knew I could design something better than the programs I've tried. That's exactly what I'm bringing to you today. So let's talk hybrid fitness, and let's create the ultimate hybrid training system. I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Now, if you want to set out to accomplish a goal, we need to be shooting for something, right? So what can a hybrid athlete do? Well, let's say we could be pretty competitive in endurance races. A hybrid athlete should have goals to be able to really compete in a 5K or 10K. Really be able to push yourself hard at those distances. You should be able to race a half marathon, comfortably finish, probably be able to race to the finish, and most likely finish a marathon, maybe even race a marathon. But at the same time, we aren't just runners. So for the strength goals, we want to be able to hit certain markers for those as well. Let's say for men, you want to be able to bench your body weight times 1.25, squat your body weight times 1.5, deadlift your body weight times 1.75. Get at least 8 pull-ups at body weight and fill out a medium shirt. Now for women, we're looking at a bench of about half body weight, a squat of 3/4 body weight, and a deadlift of body weight. Being able to perform 1 clean rep of a pull-up. Now if you don't want to test 1RMs, very understandable, you can find some calculators online or follow this equation. Your weight lifted times the amount of reps times 0.0333, adding back in the weight lifted. It should be about your 1RM. So now that we know what we're shooting for, let's talk about what we're trying to avoid. The main thing we're on the lookout for here is burnout and overuse injuries. This means we want to be intentional with our exercise selection and the amount of volume that we include within a week of training. We want to choose the most effective exercises when we lift and do the most effective endurance workouts. We want to toe the line in the middle of strength training and endurance training. Now, as an important note, I'm going to outline a program with a decent amount of variables. This is not a prescription. Based on your fitness levels and goals, you can approach this in different ways. So ultimately, you do what works for you. This is a system, it's an outline. You fill in the blanks. So to toe that middle line, we're looking at implementing our standard program, or I'll term as maintenance focus, doing 3 lifting workouts and 3 running workouts. That'll likely come in the form of 1 workout per day for 6 days. But if you wanted to double one up and have 2 days off, that's an option as well. So let's dive into lifting first. My preferred approach to lifting has been full body workouts each week. Each day hits lower body, core, upper pushing, upper pulling, with some arms and shoulder isolation mixed in as well. But each day is different and we hit muscle groups from different angles and with different variations. Let's go. Okay, so for our first day, we're gonna start off with the king of lifts, the deadlift. So we're hitting deadlift, 3 sets, 5 repetitions. You're gonna follow it up with the bent row with dumbbells, 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. And you're gonna also superset that with a 1-arm overhead press. And when you're doing this, you're gonna be kind of pressing out to the side and really holding tight through your core while trying to stay as neutral with your stance as possible. So we're working our core here as well. And the final exercise in the set is gonna be a decline sit-up. If you don't have a decline bench, just do a normal sit-up, 3 sets of 15. The next set here is gonna once again be 3 exercises, you're gonna hit an easy bar curl, 3 sets of 12, a dumbbell JM press, which you can see me doing here now. We're lowering a tricep extension, rolling it forward and pressing it up with a close grip press. That's the JM press. Do that for 3 sets of 12. And your final exercise, maybe a new one for you, gonna use banded Palloff press. So you're gonna be standing with the attachment off to your side, with your hands in close to your chest and pressing out while again, keeping right in your midpoint so that as you extend your arms out, you're really working hard to stabilize your core. Now for our second day of strength training, our big lift is our squat. We're doing a barbell back squat. Once again, we're working up to 3 sets of 5. So we have plenty of warm up in there and you're primed to hit those challenging sets. After that, you're gonna hit a set of 3 exercises. See a pattern here? Gonna hit an incline dumbbell press for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. You're gonna hit chin-ups. So that means your palms are facing back towards you for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And your core exercise here to round out the 3 is a plank hold for 3 sets of 30 to 60 seconds. To finish out that workout, you're gonna be hitting a leaning lateral raise with a dumbbell to isolate on the shoulders, a reverse fly with the dumbbells. You could do that freestanding or chest supported, and a hanging leg raise or knee raise for 3 sets of 15 reps. Now your third day of strength training, we're hitting it harder on the upper body. So we're doing our bench press as our first exercise. Now we're gonna work up to 3 sets of 5, just like the others. Doing those warm-up sets, bar, high rep sets that are easy and get you primed for those hard-working sets. You're gonna superset one of your main lifts here now, the bench press with a lateral lunge. So you're gonna hit that 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on each side. Your next big lift are your pull-ups. So palms facing away, you're working up to 3 sets of 8 repetitions. So we're not getting all the way down to that 5 rep range, but we're going for 8. So if you could do more, you're loading up external weight on a weight belt. You're gonna superset that with a barbell hip bridge. And make sure you're locking out. You're really squeezing through your hamstrings, but you're feeling it in your glutes. You're locking out your hips. Finishing out with a set of 3 exercises, which is gonna be a dumbbell, hammer curl, and press for 3 sets of 12, a face pull for 3 sets of 15, and a suitcase carry for 3 sets of walking. So make sure when you're doing those suitcase carries, you're gonna really hold your core tight and try and offset the weight of the dumbbell you're holding. So as you can see, we have some important staples in there. Bench press, deadlift, squats, pull-ups. At the same time, we're using some different variations that get us out of the sagittal plane, just moving forward and back, have us moving in all different planes of motion, as well as working the core through both flexion and stabilization. We keep the volume of the big compound movements on the lower end and focus on strengthening to create a training effect without creating much delayed onset muscle soreness to hamper your runs on your different days. So that's our weekly lifting schedule, but we aren't making a 1-week template. We're making the ultimate hybrid system. So let's take things one step further. Each week, as long as you complete the prescribed reps for your compound lifts, you're gonna increase your reps by 2 if it's an exercise with a rep range, or you'll add weight. And that weight's gonna be adding 5% or 10 pounds, whichever is lower for your squats and deadlifts, and 5% or 5 pounds, again, whichever is lower for your bench press or if you're weighting your pull-ups. So yes, these may be very small increases, but that is exactly what we're doing here. We're slowly progressing in a steady fashion. You're gonna do that in your 2nd week and your 3rd week. In your 4th week, you're gonna be dialing back your weight and your volume. This deload week is absolutely key to long-term progress and staying healthy. You're gonna cut your weight to 60 to 70% of what you used in week 3, and also drop 1 set of all your other accessory movements. You'll then continue on that 3-week build and 1-week deload as the basis of your weight training. But when you start back for week 5, don't use your heaviest weights or reps you got to in week 3, and instead go back 1 more week to week 2 and use that as your starting point. So you have a little bit of overlap there. This is gonna really help you keep building strength and stay injury free. This is a very simple form of periodization, but puts this program head and shoulders over one that keeps loading you higher and higher until something gives out. Now, before we jump into the running portion of the program, this is a great time to mention, if you're finding any of this information helpful, I would really appreciate if you'd hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and hit that bell so you catch my new uploads. The channel is growing, but it's still really just getting started, so anything you could do to support makes a big difference to me. I've put a lot of work into this video, and I want to bring as much value to you in exchange for your time and support. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to it. Okay, now let's talk about the ultimate hybrid running setup. Your goal for weekly mileage when you're on a maintenance focus is going to be between 15 to 25 miles depending on your fitness level. Your first run of the week will be a base building run at MAF, or maximum aerobic function, which is a very simple heart rate based pace where you simply take 180 minus your age and have that as a heart rate goal, 5 BPM range, both higher and lower. Now, if you don't have a watch that can read your heart rate, then just keep at it with an easy enough pace that you're not breathing too heavy and you could talk to someone if you had to. So you're gonna go 3 to 6 miles for this run, depending on your fitness level. For more advanced runners, you're also gonna put in 5 to 10 strides at the end. Now, strides are not sprints, but they are definitely faster than your threshold speed. You can go 100-meter distance on your strides and either 100-meter rest or go a full minute rest. Like I said, this is a guide, it's a system that you choose what's going to work best for you. Now, your second run of the week is going to be tempo intervals. Kick things off with a mile down at zone 2 to warm up, and go to 3 to 6 intervals of 1 mile with 1 to 2 minute recovery jog in between. Now, your tempo pace should be right around your 10K pace, or if you don't know that, then run at a perceived effort of 7 or 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. And you're going to finish with another mile at a cool down pace around MAF or zone 2. Your final run of the week is going to be your long run. So go for 5 to 10 miles at your MAF pace. You can build up your miles within that range as you feel comfortable, but don't overreach and end up injured. Slow and steady progress over time makes amazing progress on a long enough timeline. So that covers the weekly template for running, and once again, we're gonna have a planned reduction in volume that can be a bit more flexible here, depending on how you feel and the mileage you're used to. You can take a deload week every 4, 6, or 8 weeks. During the deload week, you'll take out the intervals and strides and reduce weekly mileage to 70%. So you're gonna be doing all your runs around that MAF or zone 2 pace. So there we have it, the ultimate hybrid fitness system. Now let's take a look back at the template real quick so you get those screenshots in if you haven't already. As hybrid athletes, we want to have it all. Be strong, look good, stay healthy, run for days at a time. By using this system and tailoring it for your fitness level and your needs, you will achieve your goals as a hybrid athlete. Now, we're just getting started. There's a reason why this is part 1 of the series. We're laying the foundation right now. We haven't discussed shifting focus to endurance building, shifting focus to strength building, how best to recover, how to approach nutrition and supplementation. I want to keep bringing you value as we build the ultimate hybrid training system. So if you made it this far, thank you for your time and for hanging with me today. If you got any value from this video, be sure to throw a thumbs up. If you want to keep up with the series as it grows, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.